Good morning, students. How are you today? I hope you've been enjoying your holiday. It's quite a long time. I also want to welcome you back to our online class for today. For today's class, we shall be looking into the revision to our previous lessons. I hope we can still recollect that we treated some topics via the EAD Scholar and also through our WhatsApp class. So for today, we shall be revising adjective, adverb, narrative essay, formal letter, direct and indirect speech too. I know many may want to ask me what an adjective is. For the benefit of those that were not available during our WhatsApp class, I would also like to remind you what an adjective is. An adjective is a word which qualifies or describes a noun or a pronoun in a sentence. When you talk about an adjective as a part of speech, it is the duty of an adjective to give you more information about a particular noun or a pronoun. Take, for instance, in the above sentence, the beautiful girl in my class came late. Now, in the above sentence, the word beautiful is telling us more about the word girl, which happens to be the noun in the sentence, while beautiful is the adjective. Therefore, an adjective is meant to give you more information about a noun, just as beautiful is describing the noun girl in the above sentence. Then we move to the various types of adjective we discussed in our previous lesson. We discussed adjective of quantity, we discussed adjective of quality. We also discussed demonstrative adjective. We also analyzed adjective of color. Now, and also we discussed possessive adjective. When you talk about adjective of quantity, an adjective of quantity expresses amount of a particular thing or the other. Take, for instance, if I have Ade drank some water. Some here is an adjective, which is adjective of quantity, describing the quantity of water taken by Ade. We also have adjective of quality. The duty of adjective of quality is to express the features of a particular noun or a pronoun. In terms of this quality we are talking about, it may be innate. You know what I mean by innate? That is, it may be inbuilt inside or it may be physical. For instance, if you have a young man, man is telling us more about the noun man here. Young is adjective of quality. I can have a virtuous lady. Virtuous here is telling us more about the noun lady in terms of quality. The word virtuous is not physical. It is inbuilt, innate character. That is, when you possess a good behavior, you say, oh, virtuous lady. We also move to demonstrative adjective. The duty of a demonstrative adjective is to point at a particular noun or the other. Now we have the following. For demonstrative, we have that, we have this, we also have this and those. Now I'm going to group them. We have singular, then we have plural. This is singular while this is plural. That, singular, those, plural. Let's quickly use those words in sentences. We have that boy. When you want to use plural, you have those boys. You can have this book, then you have these books. That is on demonstrative adjective. Adjective of color expresses color. I know we are familiar with our primary colors like yellow. You can say a yellow bag, a blue bag, a black bag. For human beings, you can say fair woman, fair woman. Fair in this expression is telling you more about the noun woman. And that will take us to possessive adjective. Possessive adjective expresses possession, ownership of something. The bag is owned. Now, is here is expressing possession. Is expressing possession in that context. And that is that on adjective. We now move to adverbs. Adverbs. I know many may also want to ask me once more what an adverb is. An adverb is a word which qualifies a verb. I don't want a mix-up here. Adjective qualifies a noun or a pronoun. But for adverb, it modifies a verb. The duty of an adjective and an adverb is to tell you more about a particular verb. It tells you more about a verb. And what is a verb? A verb is an action word. Now, if an action is performed, it is an adverb that will expatiate on how, manner, place, or time of that particular action. In that wise, we have adverb of time. We have adverb of place. We also have adverb of manner. We have that of frequency. Frequency. Now, when you talk about an adverb of time, it tells us the time, the particular time an action is done. For instance, Bayo came to my house yesterday. Yesterday. Look at this expression. Bayo came to my house yesterday. Now, the verb in this expression is came. That is the action there. And to my house. Yesterday here is the adverb, telling you when Bayo came to my house. The duty of an adjective, an adverb rather, is to tell you the time, the place, the way. When you talk about manner, it means way. The way and how often, that is frequency, an action is done. Yesterday expresses time. Place simply means where. Where is your action done? Are they stole the car. Ade stole the car in front of my house. Ade stole the car. The word stole here is the verb. That's the action in this sentence. In front of my house is expressing place. When you talk about adverb of place, you can be specific. I traveled to Lagos. I came from America. You can be specific. Now, you also have adverb of manner. I earlier said adverb of manner expresses the way an action is done. For instance, if someone performs an action and you want to know how he or she performed the action, then you are expected to use an adverb of manner. Manner, you can form this by adding your suffix ly. Suffix comes at the back of a particular word, the end position. Now you say, okay, I ran quickly. I ran quickly. Look at quickly in this expression. It's telling us more about the verb run. And quickly in this expression is adverb of manner, expressing how he or she had run. How he or she had run. I ran quickly. Now, quickly is formed by, look at the word quick, is an adjective. Adjective, when I add suffix ly, it changes to adverb. It becomes quickly. Then we have adverb of frequency, which expresses how often an action is done. I sing always. I sing always. Sing is the verb, always is the adverb, telling you how often I sing. I go to church on Sundays. That is adverb of frequency, telling you how often a particular action is done. And that is that on adverbs. Now we move to narrative essay. Narrative essay. And I'm sure you would like to know what a narrative essay is. A narrative essay is simply a type of essay that involves storytelling. In this type of essay, you narrate your experience on one event or the other. And one important thing you should take note when it comes to narrative essay is the fact that it is often narrated in past tense because it is expression of something that has taken place in the past. Apart from this, we highlighted some of the features of narrative essay in our previous lesson. We highlighted the need for title. How do you come about your title? Your title comes from your question. Say, for instance, if you are asked to narrate your experience, probably in a recent car accident, all you need to do is a recent car accident in my area. Here I'm going to give you the different or the two ways of going about your title. Or you can have a recent car accident I I witness. I witness. Here, you underline. Now, the question comes up here. Why is this not underlined and why is this underlined? Whenever your titles are written in capital letters, in block letters, you don't underline. But when you write them in small letters, you make sure you underline so that you can hand the appropriate mark for the title. After the title, the next step is you move properly into your writing. Here you have different groups of paragraphs in the essay. You have the introduction, that is the first paragraph. It happens to be the first paragraph. You have the main body. You can have 2 or more paragraphs, depending on the length of what you're writing. You can have 2 or more paragraphs. Also, you have the last paragraph, which is called conclusion. Here you have to round off what you have been saying from the first paragraph to the last. And that is that on narrative essay. Now we are going to move to the next topic, which is informal letter. I hope you have not forgotten that this class is basically revision on our previous lesson. We have formal letters too. Now, briefly on the definition of formal letter. Another name for formal letter is known as official letter. Official letters. It is a type of letter you write to people who occupy official positions. People like the governor of your state, the president of your country, chairman of your local government areas, members of the House of Assembly, your principal. You write to divisional police in your areas. You write to the Commissioner of Education in your state, etc. When you talk about formal letters, the tone of it must be strictly official. I could remember during our previous class that a lot of questions came up in the course of discussing this. Many asked that if their daddy happens to be the governor and they want to write to the governor, that what type of letter are they to write? Now we need to understand this properly. When you are writing to a governor, regardless of the relationship that exists between you and the person, remember, either is your father or your uncle. You are to write an official letter to him. You have to overlook your relationship with the person and write a formal letter. But if your daddy happens to be the governor of your state and you are to write to your father, you are writing an informal letter. You don't have any connection with or official setting in that context. So whenever you are writing to a particular person who occupies an official position and the letter is meant to be addressed to his office, you have to write a formal letter regardless of your relationship with the person. Now we move to the various features of the formal letter. We have addresses. The first thing you are to write is your own address, which will be situated on the right top hand side. Beneath that is the receiver's address, that is the person you are writing to, which comes immediately after your own address, and it is always on the left hand side. Thereafter, you have your salutation, which is your dear sir or your dear ma, depending on the gender of the person you are writing to. It is important. Now, you move to the title. You always have title. You are still going to follow this format. If it is written in block letters, it won't be underlined. While written in small letters, you make sure you underline it. Then thereafter, you have your introduction as well, the main body, and your conclusion. Another important thing that differentiates formal letter from informal letter is the subscription. When it comes to subscription, you have to write this. For formal letter, you write yours faithfully. Yours faithfully, comma, you append your signature, your full name, just like mine is, Ajao Oluwatosin. Thereafter, full stop. The use of yours sincerely is only allowed in informal letter. In informal letter, you make use of your yours sincerely. And no form of signature, only your first name. And that is that on formal letter. Then we talk about direct and indirect speech. When you talk about direct speech, it is the original statement said by the first speaker. And when you talk about indirect speech, which could also be known as a reported speech, you report what someone has earlier said. For instance, if as the first speaker now, my statement is, come here. If you want to report this, you will say, Mrs. Ajao said that, I should say that, come here. Come here. Now, which means you have reported with this, said that, you have reported what I have said earlier. So a direct speech is the initial statement by the first speaker. When it now changes to reported, it has to be a kind of saying what someone else has earlier said. That is that on our revision for today. Once again, I hope you are making maximum use of your holiday. Enjoy your holiday and stay safe while we see next class. Thank you.